Good afternoon, guys. It's Friday afternoon. I got a couple more calls left, and then I'm gonna go to the house. Where we're going right now is I was supposed to change this man's air handler today where we're going, but I just got overloaded with service calls and I just couldn't do it. What it is that he's low on refrigerant. He actually doesn't have much refrigerant in the system. So we're going to go over here real quick. We're gonna remove the remaining R22 that's in there, and we're gonna charge the system up with 407C, which is what I was gonna do after I changed the air, or when the new air handler was installed. But I don't have time to do it today, and I don't want to leave him without air because it's like 85 right now. And so we're gonna remove the existing R22, and we're gonna pump some polyester oil into the system. I finally got my oil pump in. And we're gonna put a few ounces of polyester oil in it, and then we're gonna charge it up with 407C. That way he will have some cooling, and then that way when we change the air handler, we can just pump the unit down, and we won't have to go through this process again. A lot of people disagree with these retrofits, and I will only use 407C. I've tried all the other ones. I've tried 422D. I've never tried MO99, but I've heard enough, like from Zach, which is, Talon 875 on here. I've heard enough. I don't think he was a big fan of it. I've heard from other guys in the YouTube community on Facebook and stuff that MO99 sucks, and I believe it. Plus, the cost of MO99 is too high. I mean, it's still almost $300 a jug, so that's, I'm buying 407C for $95 a jug, so, but I'm going to use 407C. Some guys are choosing not to use any of it, but I will use 407C because it's a great refrigerant, and the pressures are almost identical to R22, so that's the way I'm going to choose to do it. But anyway, so we'll see if we can get some film on this when we get there. Alright guys, I have my polyester oil here. Number 32. It's only a quart because that's all that anybody had in stock around here, but they are going to start ordering it for me in a gallon jug. I didn't think my oil pump was going to fit in here because this pump that I bought is designed to fit, but I looked at it. It actually might fit in here once I take this off. Here's my pump. It's made by Yellow Jacket. There's the part number if any of you are interested. I don't know if y'all can see that, 77940. Max flow. Should be a nice little pump. Alright, so I'm gonna get there's my hose. I'll get my hose hooked up to the unit, and we're gonna put about 4 strokes of POE oil in this unit. And we're working with this Train XE1200. Alright guys, I'm getting ready to, I don't know how good this is going to show up on camera, but I'm getting ready to pump some oil in the system. Wow. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. Okay, that's 4 strokes of oil. Okay guys, it actually went really well. The pump did not fit in the quart can, so I poured it in here into this little paint can that I got and pumped it that way. Did 4 strokes and did a really good job. It's a lot harder to pump that oil in than I thought it was going to be. But the oil is in. This unit calls for 9 pounds and somewhat ounces, I think. 9 pounds, 13 ounces. So now we're going to go get the 407C and load it up with 407C and see what it looks like. Alright guys, I got the 407C going in. We got 9 pounds, 13 ounces is our factory charge. You see the liquid moving through there. All I got to do now is set my testos on 407A, B, oh, there it is, C, 407C. All right, we'll let that get as close to 9 pounds, 13 ounces as we can, and then we'll go inside and flip the thermostat and turn this sucker on. All right, guys, the machine's operational. 9 pounds, 14 ounces, I went a little overboard. Looks like it's gonna settle in. I mean, it literally just started. Let me check my time on my phone. Okay, we're gonna give it 10 minutes to settle and we'll get back with y'all.
Man.
Okay, guys, we're about 12 minutes in. We have a nice 77 suction pressure with 11 superheat, 209 on head pressure, and I have not added a drop more. And the machine sounds great. For $95 a drum, I don't mind spending the extra 10 minutes it takes to pump POE oil into the system, and the machine sounds great. I mean, it's quiet. It doesn't sound, you know, it sounds fine. It sounds normal. The pressures are almost, I mean, they're damn near identical to R22. So I'm very happy with that. I'll buy that for $90 or $95 a jug versus almost $600, and spend the extra 10 minutes. I done put my pump and everything up, and I'll spend the extra 10 minutes pumping that POE oil into the system. You know, I'm just a one-man show, man, you know, and $600 every time I got to buy a jug of Freon, that's a big hit for me. So I'll take this all day long. But I think, I mean, we're looking good. I'm gonna go inside and see how it's starting to feel, and but we're looking good. I like this. All right, another question I get when I do conversions is, do I label the unit? Well, of course I do. I know there's a lot of guys out there that are not gonna do it, but I do it. Here's the proof. 407C up here, because, you know, there's a nice hole right here. This is probably where somebody would sit like I am, hang their gauges here, hook them up here. So 407C, it's in plain view. And I've also done it down here where you hook up your gauges. There it is again, R407C. So if they can't see that, then they've got a problem. All right, guys, we're pulling away from here. That was easy as pie. I know there's been a couple videos, and there's also been a couple discussions on the Facebook group about, will you use R22 retrofits? A lot of you have said no, but I tell you what, for those of you that are saying no, you ought to give it a try before you knock it. Because at one time I said no too. But that's why I'm on YouTube. You know, we're here to help each other. I think Zach was the first one in the community to start using 407C. I've used 407C in dry ships only that came with POE. This is my first time. This is the first time I have ever actually pumped POE oil into a unit and used 407C. Zach's been doing it. I talked to Zach on the phone about it. He told me how easy it was. So I bought me an oil pump. And I just experienced it. Yeah, it takes about an extra 10 to 15 minutes. But you know what? So what? What's the big deal? I mean, that right there was easy. I'll do that all day long. I mean, you guys really ought to try it. I mean, that 407C, it performs great. You saw in the video, the pressures are almost identical to R22. And I went in the house, man, took some temperature readings. I had like a 16, 17 degree split, putting out 50 something degree air out the supplies. So he's happy, you know. We got to come change the air handler next week, but I'm just going to simply pump the refrigerant back into the condenser and reuse it. But let me tell you something, man. You shouldn't knock something till you try it. There's guys that say I'm not going to use them, and then there's guys like Zach that are using them. I'm using it. Greg Fox is using them. To anybody that's still, I mean, I know some of you guys you're set in your ways. You say you're not going to do it, you're not going to do it, and yeah, that's fine. But if there's some of you out there that are still like, I'm not sure, you should, because I tell you what, I'm not going to be buying hardly no R22. I have 2 jugs R22. One's about a quarter full, the other one's about half full, and I save those strictly for a gas and go, like if they're just a hair low on Freon. But if they're almost empty, like this man was, I'm just going to remove the R22 and convert them over to 407C. But if they just need like a pound or so, then I'll take the R22 that I got. Now, once these jugs empty, I will spend the money on 1 jug of R22, and it'll probably last me a long time, because it's strictly going to be for those customers that are just need like a half a pound or a pound, 2 pounds, something like that. That's it. That's the only time I'm going to use it. Anytime I change out an air handler like I'm doing on this job and I'm keeping the condenser, I'm not using R22. If I change out a coil, blah, 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 I'm not doing it. I'm using 407C. And I know a lot of you are going to say, oh, well, when you find those people, you should just sell them a condenser. Well, you know what? It don't always work like that. Because this man here, I asked him again before I came today if he wanted to consider doing the condensing unit and going to 410A. He did not want to hear anything about it. He said, that heat pump I got outside runs fine. There is no reason to replace it. And it's kind of hard to argue with the man. So some of you guys should really get on board and get a more open mind about this. It's, you want to do the best job that you can. It's all about helping the customer. And this is the way to do it. Especially if you're a one-man band and you can do things your way. So anyway, I had fun on that call. That was something different. Got to pump some polyester oil into the condenser. Very simple. And the machine ran great. I mean, it didn't sound bad or anything. So I had a really good time on that service call. It was something different. All right, guys, thanks for watching. And we'll see y'all on the next one.